Now we have the opportunity to speak to Bethany Ashton Wolf, the writer and director. And tell us a little bit about the movie today.
Gosh, it's a beautiful film called Little Chenier, set in a real location in Louisiana, a little tiny town built on the water. So it has floating houseboats, floating grocery store, floating gas station, and it's a beautiful story about two brothers. The younger brother is mentally handicapped, and he's accused of a crime in the town. And it's really about the lengths that you go to protect the ones that you love. So it's a very poetic, lyrical story, starring Jonathan Sheck, Clifton Collins Jr., and Fred Kohler.
Fantastic. And let me ask you, I know after you filmed this, Hurricane Katrina came through.
Yes.
What was that like to revisit the set, or revisit this place that you filmed such a beautiful movie in? What were your feelings when you went back?
It was extremely emotional. I had no idea going in. I really thought I was doing a cinematic service to really educating the world on this culture that most people know very little about, even though it is very much a part of our American melting pot. And then the hurricane hit 5 days after we wrapped principal photography, wiping out every location that we were shooting in, which was their homes and their land and their livelihood. So I soon realized that I had not only a cinematic responsibility to them, but a moral one, because this film really has become a platform for me to make people aware that there's still so much devastation there, that there are people who live in this area, and that they are still suffering. So.
And you almost captured a moment in time that really, to be created, is going to take a very long time to bring that back to what it was.
Yeah, it's a piece of living history now. And it will forever be on celluloid, and it means so much to them to have that footage and to have it preserved. It was funny because, you know, people always want you to delay shooting. Wait till you have more money, wait till you have this. And they wanted me to push until October, and you know, the independent rule of you shoot.
Do it now.
You have money, you shoot. So thank God, because if we had waited till October, we wouldn't have been able to shoot this movie for another 100 years. So I think something bigger than myself was really leading this film along, which is quite beautiful to experience.
Tell me what it's like to be a female director, because I know the majority of the directors out there are males. So what are your challenges? What are the beautiful parts about it? Tell me a little bit about that.
It's tough. But with that, you feel a sense of, well, I'm going to be the pioneer for this. It's much easier now. Of course, there's a lot more women filmmakers out there. But when I was younger, I really didn't have anyone to look up to know, oh, that's something I can actually do. I still do think there's a double standard with it. I always say to my producers and people around me, I know when I walk in the door that they're going to make a judgment about me based on I don't fit the molds of what you imagine a director to look like. But I'm okay with that, because I know within 5 minutes I can break that barrier. And I think the more that women do that, keep showing that we're tougher than we look, and you don't have to look like that you're in the army to be a tough person and be able to handle the responsibility of directing on a tough shoot. I think it'll open the way for a younger generation of women to continue to do it. Yeah.
So now you've gotten some really great support, and you've got a distributor for this film.
Yes, I'm proud to say.
Yes, that's great. So where can we see it now outside of Gaze Film Festival?
It will be released in theaters nationwide, starting in the winter. We're going to open in New Orleans with a star-studded premiere December 22nd, and then we're just going to lead out city to city from there, including LA, New York, Chicago, Houston, Nashville. So it's quite exciting, because as we all know, the independent front is saturated, and it's very hard to get a theatrical release.
It can be
very
tricky.
fortunate.
What is your next project? What are you working on now?
My next project is a political thriller set in China. And following that, I'm doing a cowboy story set in New Mexico and Texas.
When you shoot on the film in China, you're going to actually be in China for the whole
No, we're going
duration?
to shoot in Thailand for China. It's a little easier, a little cheaper.
Always got to stick with the budget, right?
Yeah.
Well, we wish you great luck, and
Thank you.
You had a great response today with the film.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, sweetie.